Part 2. The Shadow of Death Descends. The first sign of trouble in Edu came not with thunder or omen, but with a scream that pierced the dawn like a spear through flesh. It was the cry of Ezine, wife of Mazi Ugo, the village's most skilled hunter. Ugo had risen before the sun, as was his custom, to track game in the savanna fringes. But that morning he did not stir from his mat. Ezine found him cold, his body contorted in a rictus of pain, foam dried at the corners of his mouth, and eyes bulging with unspoken horror. No arrow wound marred his skin, no bite from serpent or beast. The villagers, roused by her wails, gathered around the hut, murmuring prayers to ward off evil spirits. King Eze arrived swiftly, his face etched with concern. "What affliction is this?" he demanded, as Dibie knelt to examine the body. The herbalist prodded gently, sniffing the air and tasting a speck of the foam. "No poison, I know," Dibie muttered, his voice grave. "This is the work of something unseen, perhaps a curse from the ancestors or a malevolent chi." The burial was hasty, as tradition dictated for unexplained deaths to prevent the spirit from lingering and spreading misfortune. Ugo was interred at the edge of the ancestral grove, with offerings of his bow and arrows, and chants invoking safe passage to the land of the dead. The village tried to resume normalcy, attributing Ugo's death to a rare ailment, but the next night, under a crescent moon, another tragedy struck. Obiajeli, a young mother of 2, collapsed while fetching water from the stream. Her children found her, body twitching in final throes, the same foam and terror in her eyes. Panic began to simmer. Whispers spread through the huts. Is it witchcraft? A rival clan's juju? Parents kept children close, and the market square emptied earlier than usual. Chike felt the unease keenly. That evening, as he helped his mother prepare herbs, Neka's hands trembled. "The air carries death's scent. I've seen fevers and plagues, but this, it's as if the soul is ripped away." Okonkwo, ever stoic, sharpened his hoe. "We must trust the gods. Offer more kola to Amadioha." Chike nodded, but sleep evaded him, haunted by visions of twisted faces. By midweek the deaths multiplied. An elder fell mid-proverb during a council meeting, clutching his chest. A child playing in the cassava fields dropped lifeless among the leaves. A warrior in his prime, boasting of hunts, convulsed over his evening meal. Each victim bore the same marks, no external injury, but agony frozen in death. The village healer huts overflowed with the fearful, seeking charms and potions. Dibie worked tirelessly, brewing concoctions of alligator pepper and uziza, but nothing stemmed the tide. Fear morphed into chaos. Families barred their doors at dusk, hanging talismans of cowrie shells and feathers. The once lively evenings turned silent, broken only by muffled sobs. Crops began to wilt unnaturally, leaves curling as if scorched by invisible fire. Livestock bellowed in distress before succumbing in their pens, eyes wide in accusation. Rumors flew like harmattan dust. Some blamed witches from the neighboring village of Oka, others a forgotten sacrifice to the river goddess. King Eze summoned the council under the iroko tree, the air thick with tension. "Our peace shatters like a clay pot. We must divine the cause." Dibie cast the bones, cowrie shells and animal vertebrae, reading patterns in their fall. "Shadows obscure the truth. An imbalance stirs, but the source eludes me." The deaths continued relentlessly. By the week's end, 10 souls had departed, their burials a grim procession. Mourners wailed, tearing at their clothes in grief. The burial ground swelled, the earth freshly turned like wounds in the land. Chike lost a cousin, young and vibrant, to the plague. Adama's family was spared, but her eyes held shadows when they met by the stream. "What if it claims you next?" she whispered, her voice trembling. Chike held her hand briefly, defying custom. "I will fight it, for us." Desperation bred division.
Accusations arose, fingers pointed at those with grudges or unusual behaviors. A woman known for her sharp tongue was ostracized, suspected of dark arts. Hunts ceased, fields lay fallow, and the market dwindled to whispers. Children no longer played, instead they huddled in fear. As the full moon rose, illuminating the village in silvery light, 3 more perished in one night, a family huddled together, their bodies discovered at dawn. The king declared a state of mourning. No dances, no feasts, no betrothals until the curse lifted. "We are besieged by the unseen," Eze proclaimed. Elders spoke of abandoning Idu, but the surrounding clans were hostile, and the forest barred escape. Neka, exhausted from futile healings, confided in Chike, "This is no illness of the body, it's a hunger of the spirits." Okonkwo, his resolve cracking, prayed fervently at the family shrine. The chaos peaked with the death of Ifenyi, the priest, mid-ritual at Amadioha's shrine. His fall silenced the drums, an omen of divine displeasure. The village teetered on collapse, harmony shattered into fragments of terror. In this maelstrom, King Eze resolved to seek higher wisdom. "We must consult the oracle," he announced. "Only Mama Agui can pierce this veil." Preparations began amid the gloom, fasting, purification baths in the sacred stream. The people clung to hope, praying the oracle would reveal salvation.
With the shadow of death looming over Idu like a perpetual storm cloud, King Ezeke gathered his most trusted advisors for the journey to the oracle. The cave of Mama Agwu lay at the base of the eastern hills, a sacred site guarded by ancient pythons and veiled in perpetual mist. The path was treacherous, winding through thorny acacias and rocky outcrops, demanding not just physical endurance, but spiritual purity. Ezeke, Dibi, and 2 elders fasted for a day, bathing in waters scented with sacred herbs to cleanse their chi. As they set out at dawn, the village watched in silent prayer. Chike stood with his family, his heart heavy. "May the gods speak truth," Okonkwo murmured. The group carried offerings, a spotless white goat, baskets of kola nuts, yams, and vials of palm oil. The air grew cooler as they ascended, the forest's edge whispering warnings. At the cave's mouth, the pythons slithered forth, their scales iridescent in the filtered light. Mama Agwu emerged, an ageless figure draped in white cloth adorned with cowries, her milky eyes seeing beyond the mortal realm. "What brings the king to disturb the spirits?" she intoned, her voice echoing like distant thunder. Ezeke knelt, pouring libations. "Great oracle, death ravages Idu. Our people fall without cause, their souls stolen in agony. Reveal the affliction and its remedy." The priestess led them into the cave, where a fire burned with aromatic woods. She inhaled the fumes, her body swaying as trance overtook her. Spirit spoke through her in tongues ancient and guttural. After hours that felt eternal, she awoke. "The curse stems from an ancient pact broken. 7 generations ago, your forebears vowed tribute to Chioma the Eternal, guardian of the forest. Every cycle, the forbidden fruit from the tree of ages must be offered in sacrifice to maintain balance. But memory faded, the vow forgotten. Chioma awakens in fury, drawing life to sate her hunger." The revelation struck like lightning. Dibi recalled fragments of old tales, but the pact had been lost to time. "How do we appease her?" Eze pleaded. 12 virgin young men, pure in body and spirit, must enter Ezen Moor. They will face trials to reach the tree and pluck the fruit for sacrifice at Amadioha's shrine. Only then will peace return. Horror gripped the group. The forbidden forest, none return from its depths.
"But the dangers," an elder protested. "The gods test the worthy. Monsters of shadow, spirits of the lost will assail them. Fortify with rituals, but fate decides." The return to Idu was somber. Eze announced the decree at the square, the crowd aghast. 12 virgins to venture where none survive, cries erupted. Parents shielded sons, fear turning to defiance. Debates raged. Some argued surrender, others flight. But deaths persisted, claiming 2 more that night. Desperation won.